high school, became a senior, and I was real big into music. And so, I spent a lot of time on my laptop just, fooling around with beats or doing songs. I was constantly doing music with people at my school. And I was kind of one of the main people like at my school that actually knew how to like record songs and like layer everything. So, a lot of people would be like, "Oh yeah, you got to set up. Let's work together." And became a senior. And a funny thing, I actually did not want to go to college initially. And the reason for that was because all my friends were like in my hometown. And so I felt like, well, if I go to college, I'm going to leave all my friends behind, this life of just, I had a car on the weekends, I just go hang out with them, tons of laughter and just goofing around, not doing anything, being lazy. And so I didn't want to leave that behind, and it took my mom talking to me and basically saying like, you're going to college because if you don't, there's nothing for you here, and you're just going to be like one of those dudes that I see all the time walking down the street, with nothing. She worked for Head Start. And so she's, a lot of people in the community would come to the school. A lot of people in the community would just be around that area. And so she saw how a lot of adults move. And so she didn't want that for me, right? And so she was like, no, no, no. She was like, you're going to college. So she forced me. She sat me down. She was like, she made me put in applications, and I was giving her a hard time, and I was like, I don't even know what to major in. And she was like, well, you're always back there fooling around on that computer. She was like, why don't you go into computer science, And so I did. I was like, fine. And I just picked computer science. I actually ended up getting a full tuition scholarship. I had to take the ACT like 5 times. Because obviously I got it high enough to where I got accepted. But then I saw something on my school's website. I went to Troy University. And I saw something on their website where they said that, like, I can't remember what the name of the scholarship was, but it was basically full tuition and you had to get like a 27 on the ACT. And like my first time I got like a 21. And I would listen to my mom talk, and she would talk about how, if I didn't get a scholarship, her and my dad would have to figure out some kind of way to like put us through, because my brother was already in school and he didn't have like, I think he had like a small scholarship, but it wasn't like full tuition. So she was basically alluding to like, yeah, I might have to pick up a second job or something like that. And that really just hurt me. Cause I didn't want to see her like have to, put in that much effort just for us to go to school. So I made a commitment, and I was like, I'm going to get that scholarship no matter how many times I have to take the ACT. So I would literally like do the ACT, get the score back. If it was too low, I was like, dang, sign up again, study, 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 take it again. Eventually I got the score. So got the full tuition scholarship, went to Troy. I actually majored in computer science, and I loved it. Like I got into my first coding class, which was C++. And I was like, man, this is awesome, And so I just fell in love with coding, similar to your experience, Hollywood. I would say the one course that gave me the biggest heartburn was algorithms. That was tough, man. And looking back, I feel like where I struggled at is with coding, it's problem solving, right? So it's like, okay, I have this problem. I'm trying to solve this problem with code. And so you just work through the problem iteratively, versus with algorithms, I feel like these are things that have already been solved and I just have to memorize them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Where I struggled at is I was trying to understand like, well, how did they get there?
Yeah.
And I was like way too deep in the weeds to the point where like I was trying to understand the math of it, it wasn't, the math wasn't mathing. And so so I came out of algorithm. I think I came out of algorithms with a C, which actually isn't that bad. But still, like, that was tough. Algorithms was very tough. Discrete math was also very tough because it's very theoretical. So it was just like, that was another class where I struggled really bad.